My story is not unlike that of many others. I come from a single parent household. My mother is from a small town in South Georgia where the only surviving fast food restaurant is a local sandwich shop. I'm the oldest of three children, and I often help to take care of my siblings. And so I've been a caretaker for a long time now, and not just since becoming a healthcare provider. But the events that really thrust me into the desire to help others didn't happen until later in life. I was 8 months pregnant with my first child. My feet were swollen, my back was hurting, but I was glowing and basking in this new experience. It was 2014, and there had been an increase in the number of murders of unarmed Black men. 2 years prior to that was the murder of Trayvon Martin, and in that year of 2014 was the murder of Michael Brown. Again, I'm 8 months pregnant with my first child, who just happens to be a young Black male. I had a breakdown. I remember curling up next to the cold refrigerator, a place I'd frequented quite often over those past 8 months, and just crying and asking myself, how will I protect this Black boy? What am I doing? Why am I bringing him into this world? Dear Lord, what have I done? Tears and sweat poured down my face as I gasped for air, as fear and pain started to consume me. I cried and I cried and I cried. And after a while, I didn't have anything left. I couldn't cry any longer. So after I pulled myself together with the help of my husband, who just happened to be a young Black male, I decided that crying wasn't going to change anything. This little Black baby was coming. This social injustice and unwarranted killings were going to keep happening. I knew that I had to do something, and I knew that small drops can cause big ripples. It was in that moment that I thought of my grandmother, who, armed with just an 8th grade education, raised 10 children, 4 of them Black males, in the South in the 1950s and 60s, where the civil rights movement and the struggle for justice and equality for African Americans was at an all-time high. I thought of her urging her children and grandchildren to get their education, despite not having one of her own. I thought of her attending our graduations and other events on campus at institutions where she wouldn't even have been allowed to set foot on. And I knew that if she were still here with us today, she would urge me to push forward and onward. And so that's really when I thrust myself into civic action. I had always been a voter, but now I wanted more people to vote. More people who looked like me to vote. More people with similar interests as me to vote. More people who knew that the very democracy that we hold so dear was in jeopardy if we didn't vote. So I used my notoriety as a healthcare provider and in social and civic organizations to organize voter registration drives at barbershops and beauty salons and parking lots and any and everywhere where they would have us. I became a Get Out the Vote ambassador for the Georgia gubernatorial candidate. I joined a local civic group to make calls, write letters, postcards, register voters, and monitor polling locations. I can still remember that moment in 2014 because every day I look into the eyes of my young Black son. And I hope that my efforts will make for a safer, healthier, and more sustainable society for him and his future family. If you share the same desire for change and hope that I do, then I ask you to join me. Order a Healthy Democracy Kit, and this could be done at Vot-ER.org/kit. Invite your organization to become a Civic Health Month partner. Register people to vote. Check your own voter registration, and just get as many people as involved as possible. I thank you for this opportunity to share my story, and I ask that you do what you can do to make for a healthier democracy. Thank you.